Okay, so now I'm going to show you that second sample that I looked at under the microscope for the mixed algae. So you can see a lot of the filamentous algae still, and then there's a really nice volvox. And remember that the volvox is a colony of little individual cells, and there can be literally like 500 to 50,000 cells in there. And you can compare the size of this whole volvox to like one of the cells of the filamentous algae and get a feel for like how big that particular volvox colony was. So I'm just scanning through the slide. Oh, there's another really pretty volvox, and trying to see if there's anything else that we haven't seen already. And at some point okay, so now I've gone up to, that's probably 400 times magnification, but to be honest with you, right now I can't remember, but just for the fact that the resolution is so low. And see, these are living, so they're actual spheres. They're not squished down under a slide, which is why it's really impossible to get the whole thing in focus at one time, because it's, you have to go through the depth of it, I guess. So at certain times, parts of it are in focus, and then if I move the fine adjustment knob, other parts become more in focus. But you can see the teeny little individual cells that make up the colony. And these interior structures are like a bunches of cells trying to make a new little colony. You can still see the little animal-like protists moving all around. Just, happen to be in the mix, and then the filamentous. At some point, I actually change. You can see, like, now this is a whole different type of algae right there. And at some point, I really closed the, oh, okay. So this is 400 times. That other was 100 times. I know because it's of how big it looks now. Duh. And I don't think I stay there for very long, because at 400 times I was having a hard time getting things to come into focus. Or maybe this is where I actually turned the diaphragm really to the point where it was really closed, so that we could see better some of the other strains. They look almost kind of like they glow, and that's just because of the pigment, the green pigment that's in them as the light hits it. But you can see, like, these little things, I mean, they look like little worms, but they're green. So and they're really, really small. So I think they must be some sort of algae. But yeah, like, as you see, like, depending on where I choose to focus on that drop, I can see other things that are either farther away from the lens or closer to the lens. Okay, so this is just more of that. I'm trying to get those little wormy things into more focus. There's the volvox again. You can see how big the volvox, like, here's an individual cell of the volvox. And then, of course, I think this is a little Vorticella, which is a protozoan, but it likes to eat the algae, which is why it looks green there. You drew that thing with the little springy stalk and the cup at the end. And then this is, of course, some sort of an algae, and there's just so many different types in here. I think I was trying to get the Vorticella to come into better focus for you. And like I said, you can just see how, depending on where I choose to focus, some things will be sharper and some things will kind of fade because of the depth of the sample. This is a little colony of algae that's made up of 4 cells, and then there's some more worms. I'm sure that it's lost in the the fact that you couldn't see it yourself, but this was so cool today to be able to see all these different creatures in just this one little drop of the algae mix. It's like a whole, another world. Things coming and going and being eaten and eating and photosynthesizing, and so much little movement. It's beautiful. So I got kind of up closer on those little wormy things. And they seem to be like single-celled things, so I think they're probably some sort of protist, not a worm, but I'm not an expert in protists, so maybe I'm wrong. Don't ask me what happened there. It's like I got way out of focus. Okay, so I move around a little bit, and again, just trying to show you some things with different lighting and different degree of focusing to kind of show you some of the other things that were in the sample. Again, those are just little encased algae. And you see there's some that look mobile. But the wormy things really come into focus. They must like either the surface or the bottom, one or the other of the cell. That looks like a tiny little Volvox, because some are 500 cells big, some are 50,000 cells big. So this looks like it might be sort of a new little colony. This, I really don't know. It looks just like a big mass of like the filamentous algae all kind of stuck together. I think this could be really cool computer wallpaper. If you had a camera that was able to focus even better than this one. There's the little worms again, which, like I said, are probably not worms, but they just look delicate. Excuse me. So clearly, at this level of focus, a lot of things are out of focus. And I think I'm just looking around now to see if there was anything else I could find that I hadn't seen before by adjusting again the fine focus. And obviously lots of different variety and sizes and shapes, but I don't think I ended up seeing anything else that was really totally different. This is a really good shot of like the filamental Ulithrix algae. Like right there, you can see the individual cells. Okay, so obviously I geeked out over that one because that was really cool footage and cool to see. I hope that the algae are still alive by the time I see you again. If not, I think we could probably order just at least a jar of those because that was super interesting to look at under the microscope.